David Parker Ray, infamously known as the Toy Box Killer, was an American kidnapper, torturer, and suspected serial killer whose crimes shocked the nation. Operating primarily in New Mexico, Ray's modus operandi involved abducting women, holding them captive in a soundproof trailer he dubbed his toy box, and subjecting them to horrifying abuse. His reign of terror spanned several decades, with estimates suggesting he may have been responsible for up to 60 murders, though only 3 survivors have come forward. The Toy Box was a mobile home located on Ray's property in Elephant Butte, New Mexico. Inside, he meticulously equipped the trailer with various instruments designed for sexual torture. These included surgical tools, chains, pulleys, whips, and even a homemade electric shock machine. The trailer was soundproof to ensure that the screams of his victims went unheard. Ray's attention to detail was chilling. He even created diagrams and instructional materials to guide his actions. Before commencing his abuse, Ray would play a recorded orientation tape for his captives. This tape, recorded in 1993, served as a grim introduction to the horrors they were about to endure. In a calm, detached voice, Ray outlined the torturous acts he intended to perform, stripping away any semblance of humanity or empathy. The purpose of this tape was twofold: to intimidate his victims and to establish a psychological dominance over them. Ray's criminal activities were not solitary endeavors. He had accomplices, including his own daughter, Glenda Jean Ray, and his girlfriend, Cindy Hendy, who assisted him in his abductions and even the abuses. These individuals played pivotal roles in the execution of his crimes, making the ordeal even more harrowing for the victims. The end of Ray's reign came in 1999, when one of his victims, Cynthia Vigil, managed to escape after being held captive and tortured for 3 days. Vigil seized an opportunity when Ray left for work. She unlocked her chains, fought off Cindy Hendy, and fled the trailer wearing only a collar and padlocked chains. Her escape led to the discovery of the toy box and the subsequent arrest of Ray and his accomplices. In 2001, Ray was convicted of kidnapping and torture, receiving a sentence of 224 years in prison. However, he was never tried for murder due to a lack of concrete evidence. Ray died in 2002 from a heart attack, just before he was able to be interrogated about his potential involvement in multiple murders. The legacy of David Parker Ray serves as a grim reminder of the depths of human depravity. His crimes not only inflicted unimaginable pain on his victims, but also left an indelible mark on the collective consciousness, highlighting the importance of vigilance and justice in the face of such horrors.
Hello there, bitch. Are you comfortable right now? I doubt it. Wrists and ankles chained, gagged, probably blindfolded. You are disoriented and scared too, I would imagine. Perfectly normal under the circumstances. Now, you are obviously here against your will. Totally helpless. Don't know where you're at. Don't know what's going to happen to you. You're very scared or very pissed off. I'm sure that you've already tried to get your wrists and ankles loose. No, you can't. Now you're just waiting to see what's going to happen next. You probably think you're going to be raped, and you're f***ing sure right about that.
Anneliese Michel's story is one that chills even the most skeptical minds. Born in 1952 in Germany, Anneliese was a young woman whose life took a terrifying turn in her late teens. What began as ordinary health struggles rapidly descended into something so disturbing that it would grip the world in fear and controversy for decades. At the age of 16, Anneliese began experiencing seizures, and doctors diagnosed her with epilepsy. Despite treatment, her condition worsened. She reported hearing voices, seeing disturbing visions, and experiencing violent convulsions. Over time, her behavior grew increasingly erratic and withdrawn. Medical explanations failed to fully account for the depth of her suffering. She became convinced that she was possessed by demonic forces. Her family, who were devout Catholics, sought spiritual intervention after conventional medicine seemed powerless. In 1975, after years of worsening symptoms and growing desperation, Anneliese underwent a series of exorcisms performed by 2 priests. These rites lasted for nearly 10 months, during which Anneliese was reportedly subjected to intense physical and psychological torment. Witnesses described scenes of her screaming in multiple voices, contorting her body in unnatural ways, and speaking languages she had never learned. The priests documented over 67 sessions of exorcism, each one more harrowing than the last. But the exorcism did not bring relief. Instead, Anneliese's health deteriorated further. She refused food and water. Her body wasted away to a skeletal frame. On July 1st, 1976, at just 23 years old, Anneliese Michel died in her family home. The official cause was malnutrition and dehydration. Her death sparked outrage and legal scrutiny. The priest and her parents were charged with negligent homicide, accused of allowing her to starve under the guise of religious ritual. The trial that followed was sensational. Medical experts testified that Anneliese's symptoms could have been treated with proper psychiatric care. While the defense argued that her condition was supernatural in origin, the court found the priests and her parents guilty of manslaughter, but gave them suspended sentences, a controversial decision that left many divided. What makes the audio recordings of Anneliese's exorcisms so terrifying is the raw, unfiltered glimpse they provided into her torment. The tapes capture screams, cries, and unsettling vocal distortions, moments where her voice seems to fracture into something not quite human. There are instances of deep, guttural growls, whispered threats, and agonized pleas, all layered beneath the chants and prayers of the priests trying to cast out the demons. Listening to these recordings, you can almost feel the oppressive weight of despair, fear, and something far darker. The sounds are haunting because they seem to transcend normal human suffering, blurring the line between psychological breakdown and the supernatural. Anneliese's story has inspired countless books, documentaries, and even horror films, most notably the 2005 movie The Exorcism of Emily Rose. But beyond the dramatizations lies a tragic tale of a young woman caught between medical science and spiritual belief, suffering in a way that defies easy explanation. Her exorcism tapes remain a stark reminder of the power of faith, fear, and the unknown forces that some believe can inhabit the human mind. They force us to confront uncomfortable questions about what lies beyond our understanding of the mind and the spirit, and whether some horrors are beyond the reach of medicine.
Ich hab verrichtet, so dass ich in dem Wald rein bin. Ich trag dir die Rotznase noch so lang, bis es lebt wird. Die Saublöderei. Für uns geht's kein Zurück. Sie in alle Ewigkeit. Wer ich, der Judas und der Nero, der Kain und der Hitler. Fettstimme.
Das ist der 6.
Oh, den haben wir gelogen.
On January 27th, 1967, tragedy struck the heart of the United States space program in a way that would forever haunt NASA and the world. The Apollo 1 fire claimed the lives of 3 brave astronauts: Virgil Grissom, Ed White, and Roger B. Chaffee, during a pre-launch test, marking one of the darkest moments in space exploration history. The mission itself was intended to be a milestone, the first crewed flight of the Apollo program, designed to eventually land humans on the moon. But before the spacecraft could even leave the ground, disaster unfolded inside the command module during a routine plugs out test, where the capsule was powered by its internal systems without connection to external power. The cabin was filled with pure oxygen at a pressure higher than normal atmospheric levels. This environment, while necessary for the spacecraft's operation, was extremely flammable. A spark, whose exact source was never conclusively identified, ignited a fire that spread with devastating speed. Within seconds, flames engulfed the interior. Trapped inside the airtight command module, the 3 astronauts had little chance to escape. The door was designed to open inward and required pressure to be equalized before it could be opened, a process impossible during the rapidly escalating fire. The crew's frantic attempts to respond were cut short. What makes the Apollo 1 recordings especially haunting are the final communications between the crew and mission control. In the first moments of the emergency, the voices of Grissom, White, and Chaffee can be heard remaining calm but growing increasingly urgent. There are fragments of calls for help, alarms sounding in the background, and the unmistakable tension of a crisis unfolding in real time. The recordings capture the shock and confusion as the fire takes hold, interspersed with attempts to maintain contact and coordinate a response. The sense of urgency escalates rapidly as Mission Control realizes the severity of the situation, but there was sadly nothing they could do to remotely save the crew. The Apollo 1 fire led to sweeping changes in NASA's safety protocols and spacecraft design. The pure oxygen atmosphere was abandoned for safer mixtures, and the command module door was completely redesigned to open outward, rapidly in emergencies. The lessons learned that night laid the groundwork for the eventual success of Apollo missions, including the historic moon landing in 1969. As you listen to this clip, you'll hear not just voices, but the echo of a profound loss, a stark reminder of how quickly hope and promise can turn into tragedy, and how the bravery of those who came before us paved the way for the future of space travel. The hum is an unsettling phenomenon that has baffled and terrified people around the world for decades. Described as a persistent, low-frequency droning or humming noise, it is often heard in quiet, rural areas, small towns, and even urban environments. What makes the hum particularly disturbing is its elusive nature. Only a small percentage of people report hearing it, while others nearby remain completely oblivious to it. This mysterious auditory experience has led to numerous investigations, theories, and chilling accounts from those who claim to be plagued by it. The first notable reports of the hum date way back to the 1970s, but similar descriptions have appeared sporadically throughout history. One of the most famous cases is the Taos hum, named after the small town in New Mexico, where in the early 1990s, a significant number of residents reported hearing the strange noise. The hum was described as a low-pitched, continuous buzzing or droning, sometimes compared to the sound of an idling diesel engine or a distant machinery. For those who hear it, the sound is often maddening and intrusive, disrupting sleep, concentration, and overall mental well-being. What makes the hum horrifying isn't just its persistent nature, but the effects it has had on those who perceive it. Many describe feelings of anxiety, headaches, nausea, and even depression, believing the noise is coming from some unknown source deliberately targeting or torturing them. Some victims have reported that the humming noise interferes with their daily lives to the point of despair. Despite numerous investigations by government agencies, scientists, and independent researchers, the source of the hum remains unexplained. In some areas, extensive studies failed to locate any physical cause, leaving the phenomenon shrouded in mystery. One haunting theory suggests that the hum could be a form of infrasound, sound waves at frequencies below the threshold of human hearing, but capable of causing physical discomfort and psychological distress. Infrasound can be produced by natural events like earthquakes, ocean waves, or even the wind, but the persistent localized nature of the hum defies easy explanation. Some have speculated that it could be the byproduct of covert military or government projects involving sonic weaponry or surveillance technology. For those who hear the hum, the experience can be profoundly isolating, because most people cannot perceive the sound. Sufferers often face disbelief, ridicule, or accusations of mental illnesses when they try to explain what they're experiencing. The social isolation adds another layer of psychological torment to an already disturbing sensory phenomenon. Deep within the vast expanse of the Russian countryside, a mysterious and unsettling broadcast has been transmitting for decades. Known simply as UVB-76, or more ominously, the buzzer. This audio clip captures one of the most perplexing and chilling phenomena in the world of secret radio communications. A number station whose purpose remains shrouded in secrecy, inspiring fear, curiosity, and countless theories about espionage, government secrets, and even supernatural involvement. The broadcast began in the late 1970s, and since then, a steady, droning buzzer sound has emanated from a shortwave radio frequency, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. This sound is monotonous, almost hypnotic, a harsh buzzing tone that lasts for seconds at a time, then fades into silence for a moment, only to start again. It's relentless and unchanging, like a machine endlessly cycling through some unknowable routine. Occasionally, this eerie buzzer is interrupted by a human voice, reading strings of numbers, names, and coded phrases in Russian. The voices are often clipped, emotionless, and deliberately ambiguous, making it impossible to understand their true meaning. At times, the broadcast shifts to a sequence of cryptic words or phrases that don't seem to follow any obvious logic or pattern. The strange mixture of mechanical buzzing and cryptic messages has captured the imaginations of amateur radio enthusiasts, cryptographers, and conspiracy theorists around the world. But what exactly is the UVB-76? The short answer is nobody knows for sure. The most widely accepted theory is that it is a communications channel used by Russian military intelligence, possibly to send coded messages to operatives or agents stationed overseas. The concept of number station dates back to World War II and the Cold War, when governments transmitted secret coded messages over shortwave radio frequency to spies operating in foreign countries. The seemingly random sequences of numbers and letters could be decoded only by those with the correct key, ensuring secure communication without revealing identities or even locations. What makes this more unsettling is its strange behavior and unexplained interruptions. Over the years, the buzzer sound has gone silent on rare occasions, replaced by unusual sounds, sometimes music, sometimes static, or even mysterious voices whispering in Russian. In 2010, for instance, the station abruptly stopped buzzing for several days and then resumed, but this time the broadcast location appeared to have changed, moving hundreds of miles across Russia. These odd shifts have only deepened the aura of mystery and led to speculation that something more sinister may be involved. Some theories suggest the station might be some sort of early warning system, or even a dead man's switch, designed to broadcast a signal in the event of war or government collapse. Others propose it could be a communication channel, not only for spies, but also for contact with extraterrestrial life or unknown dimensions. There are even urban legends that say the buzzer is a beacon for paranormal activity, with ghostly voices and cryptic messages acting as warnings from beyond. What adds to the eerie atmosphere is the isolated and secretive nature of the station. The broadcast originates from an unknown transmitter somewhere in Russia's remote wilderness, making it virtually impossible for the average person to get close or investigate it directly. The cold, mechanical buzz, coupled with the cryptic voices in a language few outside of Russia understand, creates an audio experience that is both alien and unnerving. Listening to the UVB-76 clip feels like tuning into a static transmission from a hidden world, a place where secret messages lurk in the noise, waiting to be decoded, or perhaps left deliberately indecipherable to keep us guessing forever. It's a sonic reminder that, even in the modern, digital age, some mysteries endure in the most old-fashioned and eerie ways.
Борис, Леонид, Елена, Федор, Ольга, Павел, Ульяна, Федор. 40, 97, 55, 73.